Welcome back, San Francisco citizens. We're back with another franchise mode commentary with your Giants, here to tackle the postseason back again in the DS, where we were defeated by the Milwaukee Brewers last year and have a matchup against the Pittsburgh Pirates. We kind of teased their lineups and rotation at the end of last video, but we can go through all of that stuff here again. They got Jared Jones starting in game one since they're coming from the wild card, so that is a bonus for us. But then we go up against Paul Skeens and Michael Harden, who looks to be up and coming, had a good start for them. And they have a pretty decent bullpen here as well. Justin Brule, only lefty outside of Vesia, their closer, but you can see what I mean. Some horses at the end of the bullpen there in Vesia, Bednar, and Miller. So a lot of good options for them. If they have a lead late in the game, it could be lights over. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on as this series gets started. Lineup-wise, they don't have any true superstars, I would say, offensively, but they don't have any true weaknesses either. They're a fairly balanced lineup. They do have this one lane here versus righties that we can exploit with some lefty relievers there. That's our focus. That's our plan. But they do have some guys off the bench like Connor Griffin and Ke'Bryan Hayes who match up very well against lefties. So we'll see how they utilize them as we make moves to the bullpen there. But that's kind of how things stack up for the Pirates. For us, in the pitching side of the house, Corbin Burns is going to get the start in game one. He's been our guy through and through. In the postseason run last year, he was incredible. So we're hoping for more of that. Logan Webb had an incredible regular season. He'll get the rock in game two. And then probably going to Kirby in game three because I like their right-handed lineup to exploit with our left-handed bullpen early if we need it. And then Winston Hunt is going to be the fourth starter. He had a really good regular season. Looks to be up and coming. I think he would deserve it if we get to that game four there and need him to take up the rock. But we also have Kyle Harrison. We've bumped to the bullpen, who had a rough year but still serviceable and pitched well in the postseason last year. And then you can see a lot of lefty relievers here. Mitch Bratt, we called up specifically because of that lane to give us more options if needed, if the game goes into extras. And then Stashik, Kurchek, and Doval were all incredible this year in their own right. They might be matchup proof depending on the situation. So that'll be interesting of how we choose to deploy them. But hopefully the offense carries away some games to make it a little bit easier on that management. As you remember, we acquired Eloy Jimenez at the trade deadline, a big piece to our lineup and our success in getting that divisional crown this year and getting that 2 seed. Finished with a 302 average, 369 OBP, 35 homers, 104 RBIs. Had a really solid year for us and the Brewers there as well as we traded with them. But Wyatt Langford did come back from injury, and he was having a really good year before he got hurt and basically required us to go make that move for Eloy in case he wasn't back for the playoffs. And now that he is and he's healthy, it creates a decision, right, on what do we do with our lineup? How do we platoon guys in here? Wyatt Langford deserves to be starting in here. He had a good postseason last year. But to start, I'm not making any changes, okay? I'm leaving Eloy in there in left field. Langford could certainly come in later in the game as a pinch hit defensive sub. Elliot Ramos is even better defensively for that outfield replacement there. We still have Michael Bush on the bench, who had a really good year. Blake Sable is our backup catcher, and then Brooks Lee is kind of our utility infielder, defensive substitution if we need one. But yeah, this is the lineup that got us here. I want to start them at least for game one and see how we match up against their pitching wise. Of course, Langford can get in there if we need to make some changes. But this is the lineup that got us here. Langford's going to be part of this team in the future. He's still coming back from that injury, so I don't feel too bad not starting him here game one. But that's going to be how we match up. So without any more delay in this, just taking a deep breath, enjoying it while we're here. It's all good right now. It could be really ugly in a matter of 10 minutes. So let's kick this thing off. San Francisco says we don't have valid lineups. Okay. A little bit of a blue ball there. Let's fix that. Just some changes. Okay. So, again, let's kick this thing off in San Francisco. Corbin Burnes, Jared Jones matching up for game 1 of the NLDS. Let's go. What do you got for me, Corbin, for the first inning? 1, 2, 3. Love to see it. Now, Luis Matos had a strong postseason run last year. Be a big table setter for us if we can get him going again in the same light. As both teams so far have 6 up, 6 down. It's the first base runner of the game. Brian De La Cruz works a walk. Biggio singles. All right. Traffic already for Corbin. Can he work out of it? This is a big out right here to not face Brian Reynolds. And Nick York comes through with a 2-out single. Got to pitch to Reynolds now. Fly out. All right. So we got out of it with only the 1 run. Let's see if the offense can answer for us here in the bottom half. Okay, very similarly, Luciano, 8-spot walk. Patrick Bailey, strikeout. Matos, fly out. Okay. So here's that lefty lane that really matched up well against right-handed pitching, and Burnes handles that without a problem. Stephen Kwan gets us our first hit. Okay. Come on, Royce. There's a knock. All right, Eloy. It's what we picked you up for this situation. Let's just tie up this game and not hit into a double play. He walks. Same thing for you, Mountcastle. You're a little slow. I would like a tie game here. Sack fly. Good work. Good work, offense. Tie game. All right. Back in it. Bottom of the lineup again. Brian De La Cruz. Biggio, fielder's choice. Strikeout. Nice work. Nice work, Corbin. Come on now, offense. I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you to step up. All right. Leadoff walk. He's had Brian Reynolds' number, and he goes, yeah. That hurts to see. May as well go to the bullpen now. Cat's out of the bag. Let's see if we can keep this a 2-run game. Ferguson does his job. Need more out of the offense. Not going to win a lot of games, only scoring 1 run to begin with, okay? That's why we got him, Eloy. Come on, buddy. Big knock right here would be huge for us. Eloy Jimenez, the trade deadline acquisition with a monumental 3-run homer here in the bottom of the 6th to propel the Giants ahead 4-3. You love to see it. Matt Chapman goes yard with an insurance run as well. He had an incredible postseason run last year. As things are falling apart, as O'Neal Cruz has an error, they make the bullpen swap now. Patrick Bailey with a single. Come on, Matos. Need you here. Fly out. All right. Great work by the offense there to come back and answer back as well right after giving up the lead. We'll leave Ferguson in to face Langoliers. Now, do we have him face De La Cruz? He's been hitting well. I think it's the 7th. I would like to go to Stashik here to get 2 more outs. See if we can do it. Okay, Nick York. I feel like we have to make a pitching change, no? Let's leave it Stashik. 1 more batter. Yep. All right, that's it. Brian Reynolds. We got to go to a lefty. It's going to have to be a guy with some good strikeout potential like Aaron Bummer here. Walk, not what you want to see. Bases loaded, 1-run game, 2 outs. Hit by pitch. The bullpen falling apart here for the Giants as Pittsburgh has come back with 2 more runs of their own to tie up the game. Maybe some faulty decisions there by me as the manager, but a leadoff walk gets us back in business. Come on, Stephen Kwan. Another single. All right. Decisions here. Do we let Royce hit? He's been doing well. Or do we try to bunt and take the lead? I think we have to let him swing here. Fly out. Eloy, come on. Can you do it again? Eloy Jimenez with a clutch hit once again for your Giants to give them back the lead. Mountcastle strikes out. Chapman walks. All right, Luciano, this is your moment right here. Can get some huge insurance runs, ground out. Okay. All right. So we're back in it. I'm going to leave Bummer out there to face Cruz and Langoliers. Okay, they're pinch hitting to Cabrian, so I'm going to make the change here to Kerchek. See if we can work ourselves out of it. O'Neill Cruz has some great speed. We may as well try a pickoff. Yep, didn't think it was going to happen. All right, Brian De La Cruz been hurting us all games. Big strikeout there. Let's try another pickoff. All right, Biggio, a walk. Single is a tie game for sure. Come on, Kerchek. Nice work. Let's go. All right. Another run here would be huge for our offense. They're making some subs there. Come on, Matos. Nope. All right. So we are going to make a substitution. We are going to plug in Elliot Ramos in as a defensive sub. We're up 1 run, the 9th inning. Have to trust that Duvall will be able to get it done here. Come on, Duvall. Through the heart of the lineup, and he does it. Eloy Jimenez, the player of the game, at least he should be, in my opinion, and he is. 2 for 3 with a walk, 4 RBIs. What a trade deadline acquisition just for that one game. Very nice. Very nice work. Good edge of your seat game. And now we've got a huge matchup between Paul Skeens and Logan Webb for game number 2 here in San Francisco. Same lineups for us. I'm assuming it'll be the same lineups for Pittsburgh. And here we go. Game 2 underway. We'll go a little bit quicker here at the start unless things unravel. Matos with his first hit of the series. And just like that, the Giants have first and second, nobody out here in the first inning. Bases loaded, nobody out in the first inning against Paul Skeens. Come on, Mr. Grand Slam, Royce Lewis himself. 2 RBI single, will take it. Sets the table again for Eloy. And Eloy Jimenez does it again, a 3-run bomb. The Giants' Ryan Mountcastle goes back-to-back. Can we repeat it? Oh, they're already taking out Paul Skeens. The Giants have blitzed him out of game 2 without an out. An infinite ERA, 5 hits, 6 earned runs. Already going to the bullpen for Pittsburgh. This is huge. This is a huge explosion. We've already hit a round. Quan strikes out. Nice work. Webb, just throw strikes, man. Let the offense carry this game. Let the defense work behind you. No free passes. Keep it rolling here. Another hit there for Matos. Love to see it after he went 0 in the last game. Strikes out the side there. Okay, leadoff double. Not to worry. Keep working here. Logan Webb. Keep doing your thing. Going to try to keep him in the game as long as possible. Save some of our bullpen. I know we got a travel day, so it doesn't matter as much, but he's pitching so well. Leave him out there for a little while. Still a little too close to have any subs come in for us to get some additional ABs. With a 6-run game. Justin Brule. Okay. Gavin Lux. Quan. All right. See if Webb can earn himself a complete game, and he does. So backed by an explosion of offense in the first inning and a complete game, 9 strikeout performance by Logan Webb. And the Giants are up 2-0 in the NLDS, heading to Pittsburgh for Game 3, a win, and we are in the championship series. This is a big swing game for us, as we don't know what Wisconsin's going to produce. But then again, George Kirby, his first start in the playoffs for the Giants, picked him up in the offseason last year for a reason. Let's see what we can do against Michael Harden here. Leadoff single for Matos. Keeps setting the table. Nothing amounts to it. And George Kirby handles his first inning quite nicely. As Shane Langoliers goes yah-yah for the Pittsburgh. Gets their crowd into it. A couple hits in a row here for Pittsburgh. And Nick York also leaves the ballpark with a 2-out, 3-run homer of his own. So Pittsburgh getting out to an early lead here in Game 3. Very much needed for them with their backs against the wall. Let's see if we can claw back into this. Eloy Jimenez continues to be a thorn in their side. Drives in 2. Still a long way to go here. Can we push across one more? A clutch double for Luciano. Makes it a 2-run ball game. And Patrick Bailey, just like that, the Giants have answered with a 5-spot of their own in the top of the 4th inning. Woo! We are back in this. Keep the good times rolling. All right, new game. Brand new ball game. George Kirby, you're still out there. We're going to see what he can do. Do we make a change here? I let him get one more out and know York burned him, and he got him. All right. Good job, George Kirby. Way to keep us in this game. Come on, Mountcastle. Come through. Looks to be a double and thrown out. Okay, we'll take it. Giants back with the lead, and another clutch 2-out homer from Matt Chapman extends the lead here for the Giants, and we are going to make an early swap here to the bullpen. I like how this is matching up. We're going to go try and grab this game and not let them get back into it. See if we can deploy our bullpen strategically here as Caleb Ferguson grabs 2 innings of shutout ball there. We'll switch it over to the righty in Stashik for the next 3 guys. Perfect. It's coming along nicely here. Come on, can we get a 2-out knock and bust this game open? We cannot. Brian Reynolds, righty or lefty? It kind of doesn't matter too much. I'd prefer a lefty just to start the inning. We can make a change faster if needed. Bummer, get back out there for this lane. He does. Okay. And we're going to make the substitution again for Eloy. He's been doing so well for us. Elliot Ramos, get in there. We're going to go to Duvall, close this game out. 3-run game, leadoff single. Don't worry about it. And he handles the rest. And your San Francisco Giants have swept the Pittsburgh Pirates in the NLDS and will be headed to the championship series for the first time since, 2016? Maybe for the Giants here. So a long time coming for them as we await the winner between the Cubs and the Reds. Will we face Young-Hoo Lee? We will not. The Cubs upset the Reds in the DS in a 5-game series to match up against the Giants here as Cleveland upset Seattle to move on, and Boston took down Minnesota pretty easily there with a sweep of their own. And that's your matchups for the CS. Let's take a quick look here at what we've got brewing for us in Chicago. So what do the Cubs have here? What have they turned this team into? So Bryce Miller seems to be very capable. Top of their rotation here. Jordan Wicks, Mitch Keller as well. Shota Imanaga and Justin Steele. Okay. Couple lefties in the bullpen here. Aaron Ashby, Joe Barlow, Colin Holderman. Okay, some good righties in there. So not as deep of a bullpen as we faced in Pittsburgh, but we didn't even see the likes of which of Vesia, Miller, and Bednar. They couldn't even utilize them much in Pittsburgh. So we'll see if we can keep that trend going against the Cubs. But I like those matchups for us overall. And then as far as their lineup goes, so Dansby Swanson and Trey Sweeney patrolling the middle of the infield. It's a good 1-2 punch there. Yordan Alvarez, that's right. Their free agent acquisition from the past year. Looks like his power numbers have dropped off a little bit, but definitely an all-around complete hitter. Very similar to Eloy Jimenez for us. So that's a tough one to match up against there. MJ Melendez and then Cody Bellinger through the heart of their lineup. So definitely some more firepower, I would say, offensively here from the Cubs. And they're also very well balanced. Not so much of a lefty lane here for us to exploit. I mean, maybe there towards the bottom half, but I mean, fairly matchup proof in who they have on the bench. Brennan Doyle, Ozzy Albies on the bench. He's probably getting the start there versus lefties. He is, as you'd expect. Okay, Homer Bush, and Trey Lipscomb, and Pete Crow Armstrong, PCA, off the bench. So pretty solid bench there for Chicago as well. Not sure if we really need to make any roster moves. I know they don't have the lefty lane to really utilize Mitch Bratt as much. It's making me think if there's anybody else we'd rather have on the bench just in case. I mean, I like Blake Sable there. Maybe Casey Schmidt as an infielder. Maybe we need another outfielder, but no, I think this is the team that we can keep going here into the playoffs. So now we got a 7-game set on our hand. Corbin Burns pitched over a week ago, so he can get the start here in game 1. We'll have a fresh rotation here, even though Wisconsin's ready. I want the better guys going right out of the gate. So let's get this one started here. Again, in San Francisco to start the NLCS. Corbin Burns getting the rock. Let's see what he can deliver for us as he goes 1, 2, 3. The Giants as well go 1, 2, 3. So some 2 historic franchises here with a lot of history, a lot of fans across the country as we get Stephen Kwan throws out Kevin Alcantara at the plate to keep it a tie game. Huge play right there. Let that not be forgotten. Jordan walks, tough part of the lineup, and Corbin handles it nicely. Love to see it. Okay, first and second for the Giants. Eloy can't do it. He was Superman in the last series. We're going to need some other players to step up here for the Giants. Okay, double play. Just what I was going to say. Corbin Burns getting up there in the pitches, I'm assuming. Tough part of the lineup here. We're going to leave him out there. He's been pitching well. Handles it with ease. Leadoff double. All right. We were faced with this situation in the past. I'm going to trust Royce Lewis again here, but let this be a note. This is the second time. All right. Gets on an error. Eloy has been so clutch. I feel terrible if we bunt him, but I also feel terrible if we hit into a double play. I have to let him swing. He's earned the right. Okay, strikeout. Mountcastle, that's why I love this team. Stepping up for one another, coming through with a knock of his own. Chapman strikes out. All right, 1-run game here going to the 8th inning. I know Shaw kind of struggles with lefties, but Corbin Burns has been so strong. I think we let him stay out there, and he handles the 8th with ease. All right, Patrick Bailey. Do we pinch run? We don't necessarily have a true pinch runner. I think we just leave him for now. Yep, fielder's choice. All right. All right, Corbin. I mean, I'd love to leave you out here. It'll be the 4th time through the lineup. Duvall's been our guy. We have to make the change. And backed by an 8-inning, 1-hit performance by Corbin Burns, 10 Ks. The Giants defeat the Cubs in Game 1. Clutch thrown out early in the game by Stephen Kwan ends up being a huge difference maker in this game. Their only hit, actually, was on that play, and Stephen Kwan threw out Kevin Alcantara at the plate to keep it a tie game early. San Francisco grabs the lead late, and the rest is history. So great work by Corbin Burns there. It's exactly what we pay him all that money for, and the offense doing just enough to get us a win there. Very nice work by the team. So we go into Game 2 with another 1-0 series lead. We're going to let Jordan hit. We could have pitched around them there. Might have regretted that. Come on, keep it a 1-run game, and he does. Okay, we can live with that. Jordan Wicks, lefty, should be able to hit this guy better than Miller in the last game, you would think. And Eloy Jimenez, Mr. 3-run homer himself with another answer back homer. to give the Giants the lead 3-1, and Mountcastle follows him up with one of his own yet again. Patrick Bailey with a double. It's a 2-out rally here for the Giants. So we jump to a 4-1 lead here after one. What a crazy start to this game. As things, don't want to speak too soon, settled down a little bit since then, but there's been traffic on the bases for both teams as Cody Bellinger gets a triple strike and Logan Webb strikes out the next three batters. You love to see it. First and second here for the Giants, 2 outs, and Stephen Kwan joins the home run parade with a 3-run shot of his own. Massive insurance runs there. Really lets Logan Webb kind of go back on autopilot like he was for his first start. Another 7-1 lead here for the Giants as the offense continues to pummel some starting pitching, backed by really strong starting pitching of our own. It's been really beneficial, great 1-2 punch. I mean, that's how this team was built. On starting pitching, solid defense, getting on base, and doing the little things right. As Logan Webb has gone 18 innings to start the postseason, both complete game, this time 14 strikeouts with the 1 earned run. What a postseason run Logan Webb is having for the Giants, basically pulling his Mad Bumgarner out of the closet. Giving flashbacks as we go to Chicago with a 2-0 series lead. Going to be facing off against Mitch Keller, who looks to be pretty strong for them. George Kirby looking to redeem himself after a rough first start for him. It's early traffic for the Giants here. And what do you know? Who do you say? Eloy Jimenez does it again. A 3-run homer to give the Giants a 3-0 lead here in the first. This man has been unstoppable with clutch hit after clutch hit for the Giants, continuing to propel them in this postseason run. Definitely earning his spot in the lineup, as not much is taking place outside of that for either team. Okay, first and second, nobody out again. For the Giants, Matos doubles, and they're into the bullpen already, bringing in a lefty. Royce Lewis drives in a run. Eloy punts. I didn't even ask him to. I guess he was just tired of hitting 3-run homers. Tried to give the opportunity to somebody else as George Kirby continues to cruise along. Matt Chapman got thrown out at the plate. Patrick Bailey also having a strong postseason there, it looks like, out of the 9 spot. Okay, first and second, 2 outs. Let's give him one more batter, and he gets out of it. Nice job, Kirby. We'd love to just keep riding you, man. You've been pitching well. Eloy with another RBI for himself. It's an 8-0 ball game. There's no point in really making any drastic changes here. The starting pitching for the Giants has just been so dominant. So dominant on every level. Let's actually make a change here. I know Kirby probably wants to finish the game, but I'd love to see Bryce Eldridge get a chance to pitch here in the postseason again. See if he can close out the game, and he does. So the Giants with an 8-0 victory here in Game 3, backed by another dominant starting pitching performance by the rotation, this time by the likes of George Kirby. 5 hits, 8 Ks, 0 earned runs over 8 innings. And the offense carried by Eloy once again doing his thing. We are up 3-0 in this series. Desperation time for the Cubs as Wisconsin's going to get his first postseason start here in the Giants uniform to see if he can propel us to a World Series appearance. As both teams go 1-2-3 in the first. The Albies getting his first start with the lefty starter on the mound. And the Cubs strike first with an RBI double. 1-0 after 3. Bryce Miller, their best starter in a must-win game on the mound for them. As you remember, for game one, we only manufactured the 1 run off of him. It was enough to win as Luciano hits a 2-run double to propel the Giants back in front. And we're going to keep letting Wisson pitch. He's been looking sharp. Moises got him last time. He gets out of it. All right. Top of the 6th inning. It'd be nice if we can get an insurance run here. Eloy Jimenez does it again with an RBI single. Chapman walks, move to the bullpen, doesn't pan out. Luciano with a 2 RBI knock, and we are up 5-1 going into the bottom half of the 6th. Wisson's been incredible once again for us. Cody Bellinger leaves the yard. All right. Make a change to a right. We'll let one more batter. Yeah, probably regret that. Let's bring in Kerchik. You haven't pitched in a little bit, but you've been dominant for us. Strikes out the 3 batters he faces. We may as well pinch run for Eloy here with Elliot Ramos. We're going to make that defensive sub anyways. So see if we can get a little bit more speed on the bases. And it does pan out as Luciano doubles again this game with another RBI. And we're going to see if Duvall can propel us to... Well, spoke too soon. I thought we were in the 9th. We'll let Duvall get 2 innings. One more out away, and your San Francisco Giants are headed back to the World Series for the first time since I'm betting 2016. I should know this. But some amazing starting pitching with some timely hitting has propelled the Giants back to the World Series with a clean sweep of the Cubs as Cleveland takes care of Boston pretty easily, and it sets up your 2028 World Series matchup between the San Francisco Giants and the Cleveland Guardians. So let's take a look at what Cleveland has here and what we're going up against here in the World Series. So pretty strong starting rotation once again, backed by Shane Bieber, Cal Quantrill, Daniel Espinillo is up here. Logan Allen has been incredible for them, and Tyler McGill hasn't even pitched. Some decent long relievers back here in case they get into trouble. Look like they've been pitching pretty well. Not really any mid relievers or kind of middle of the road guys, but a couple high leverage arms here still in Cade Smith, Sam Hedges, and Willie Armis. Looks to have been a young guy called up here for them. So I will say I think it's probably one of the weaker bullpen starting rotations that we've faced between the Cubs and the Pirates, and we were able to handle them pretty well. So hopefully we can match up well against them, although they do have some experience there. Lineup-wise, Andres Jimenez has been hot for them. Tyler Freeman patrolling center. Austin Shenton, I believe they made a trade deadline acquisition for them this year. They did, so that's a big piece in their lineup. Francisco Alvarez, who they signed in the offseason. Kyle Manzardo, okay. Gabriel Moreno, who you remember they signed both of these guys. So they have Moreno DHing, along with Yanquel Fernandez, I believe is how you would pronounce that. Shinman and Caden Wallace rounding things out. Okay, so fairly balanced lineup once again. I'm sure Lane Thomas is in there versus the lefties. He is. Brian Rocchio and Christian Walker, along with Yandy Diaz here, former Giant, as we have Steven Kwan. So we'll see if any of those guys really stand out in this matchup. But a decent lefty lane for us here. And Shelton, Alvarez, and Manzardo before it switches back over to being pretty well balanced. So that does help us out with a little bit of the matchups there late in the game. But they have some good pieces off the bench that they can certainly turn to if it gets there. So your Giants swept Pittsburgh, swept Chicago. Cleveland has gone three games in the wild card. To the Yankees, they went 4 games against Seattle, 5 games versus Boston. They've been pretty dominant on their run to the World Series. But unfortunately, there can only be one winner, And we're hoping it's going to be the Giants. So we're going to have a fresh rotation once again to start things off with Corbin Burnes taking the rock in Game 1 here in the Bay Area for your World Series between the Giants and the Guardians. What do we have in store? All right, early first and third for the Giants. I would like to get that early lead, so let's try a sac fly. Apparently not deep enough to send Lux home, but no matter. Eloy steps up with another RBI this offseason to give the Giants a 1-0 lead. As they get an error on center fielder. Okay, maybe he Aaron judged it. Another first and third here. Once again, can we get a sac fly? We are successful the second time through. All right, so just tacking on another run here for the Giants. Corbin Burnes pitches a scoreless third. We continue along here in Game 1. Not a lot of action. You'd expect some good pitching in this one as a triple from Matos to give the Giants another run. Nice 2-out hit there for Luis Matos. Okay, an error on Corbin himself, so let's trust that he knows how to get out of it. Going to pick himself up. He does. Keep simming here. Okay, here's that lefty lane. I feel like I got to make the change here. Get Ferguson in here. Fielder's choice. Come on, Manzardo. We get out of it. I'm surprised they didn't pinch hit there. They have the bats to do it for sure. Robert Link gets in here. He's been pitching well for them, although a low hits category. So maybe we can get something. Nope. All right, Gabby Marino is pretty well balanced. We should probably go to Stashik here, I would like. Leadoff single, and just like that, Cleveland's back in it with a 2-run shot by Yeniel Fernandez. Okay, Stashik still preserves the lead, so we're still doing okay. Gavin Lux flies out. Stephen Kwan. All right, so it's going to be tight here to close it out by the looks of things. We can switch to a lefty here again. Going to go with Aaron Bummer. See if he can work through this lefty lane. He does. Okay, a huge insurance run would be nice to have. Okay, first and third, 2 outs. Patrick Bailey, what do you have for me? Pop up. All right. So let's make our changes. Let's get Elliot Ramos in the left field. And let's go to Duvall. I know it's a righty versus that lefty matchup, but he's our closer. This is what we bring him in for. Leadoff single. Uh-oh. Strikeout. Yanquiel Fernandez hit that 2-run shot earlier. Got to be careful. Line out. Come on. Come on, Duvall. A single. All right. Tying run on second base. 2 outs. Top of the 9th. And I'm assuming it was a ground out. Duvall saves another one. And your Giants take Game 1 of the World Series, backed by some timely hitting and another strong starting pitching performance by Corbin Burnes. Continues to get it done here for the black and orange. So we head into Game 2 right away here in San Francisco with rain on the forecast. A chilly night with rain. That's got to be fun to play in, but it should help Logan Webb a little bit as he gives up a solo shot there to Tyler Freeman. Okay, getting hit around a little there that first inning. We'll see what's in store for San Francisco's. We gather early, first and second, nobody out. See if we can make anything out of it. Okay, Eloy, bases loaded. We're going to let him swing it. And he drives in another to tie the game. Mountcastle, fielder's choice, and a clutch 2-out single there by Matt Chapman. Drives into, and just like that, San Francisco answers with 3 of their own to grab the lead. After one, another first and third, nobody out early for San Francisco. A pop-up sac fly was deep enough to drive in a slow Patrick Bailey. And Giants grab another run as Caden Wallace answers with a solo shot of his own. So 2 solo shots here for Cleveland. Mountcastle grabs one right back. The Giants have been so good at that this postseason, answering Okay, something happened there. So the game, something must have happened with Logan Webb, and they bring in Kyle Harrison. Something must have happened. I hope it's not a massive injury, but like I was trying to say, let's understand what the diagnosis is there at the end of this game. I hate when it does it sometimes. But we're going to leave Kyle Harrison in there. We're going to see what he can do through here, through these couple innings. But like I was saying, the Giants have done such a good job of when we give up a run or a couple of runs, an inning, or that following bottom half usually has been an answer back. We're scoring runs. We're either tying the game, grabbing back the lead. It's been pretty incredible to watch happen. Kyle Harris picks him off. Love to see it. Let's see if we can get another. Mountcastle with a clutch 2-out double to score Stephen Kwan. So we're up 6-2 now here in the bottom half of the eighth. Top of the nine. Harrison's been pitching so well, and he gets it done. Inflamed nerve. Okay, maybe he just had some arm problems there. He has been pitching a lot here in the postseason. So, but Kyle Harrison steps right up to the plate, and deservingly so, gets the player of the game, 5 1/3 with 2 hits, 8 Ks, proving that he is still a dominant pitcher, deservingly so. So, Giants have won the first 2 games of this series. We are going to Cleveland for games 3, 4, and possibly 5. We shall see. But George Kirby getting the rock, same lineups. Let's see what game 3 brings us. New environment. Sure, the Cleveland crowd is ready to get their team back into this series as they do jump to an early 1-0 lead backed by Francisco Alvarez double there. George Kirby was able to pitch out of some trouble there in the first. Does it again in the second. And Patrick Bailey goes yard to tie up the game. So what I'm saying, an inning or 2 later, the Giants are right back in there scoring runs for their pitching staff to get them back into the game and give them the confidence that we are going to score runs and we are going to do so in bunches at some point in the ball game. Leadoff double for Cleveland. Another double by Tyler Freeman. All right, I think it's time we make a pitching change here. We have a full bullpen. Let's put it to use. So the lefty gives up a run there. Leadoff triple. Okay, we should be able to manufacture a run here. We do. Nobody out. Runner on first. Slow it down a little. Clutch double by Stephen Kwan back in Cleveland. Bringing tears to those Cleveland fans with a tie game there. We still have nobody out. Robert Link, who's been dominant for them, strikes out Lewis. Flies out Jimenez. Mountcastle strikes out. Okay. So we got a brand new ball game here. Let's put our bullpen to work as Stashik immediately gives them back the lead and a double. See if he can work out of it. All right, I'm not going to test it. Let's bring in Bummer here. Bummer gives up a 3-run shot. Not what you love to see. Walks a couple guys. All right, this one's kind of over. Let's give Mitch Bratt a chance. Strikeout. All right. So that went from pretty close and dramatic to the Cleveland. You know, they kind of need to win this game, hitting a couple of clutch homers, although our offense is still kicking. Let's see if we can steal a base, manufacture a run. We do. It's now a 3-run game. Still close. We're going to ride Mitch Bratt. We do. All right, into the 9th. Face the closer, Cade Smith, bottom half of the lineup. Patrick Bailey doubles. Mato singles. Now a 2-run game. 1 swing of the bat. Can do it. Gavin Lux, I hate to do it to you, buddy, but this is why we have him on the bench. He's been waiting for this moment. Wyatt Langford, get back in there. Let's see what you can do. Fly out. Dang it. Probably just missed it. And Stephen Kwan strikes out. Okay, so Cleveland takes game 3. We got ourselves a series here. Some back and forth offense in that one. And a couple of our pieces of our bullpen in Stashik and Bummer have not been performing the way they did in the regular season. Although Bummer didn't have a great regular season, so maybe it's just Stashik. But hand San Francisco their first loss. I didn't want to say anything until it happened. So this is huge for us to see how we respond after a loss. We're on the road again. Wissan getting the start. We'll see what he can do. Any lineup changes? Not really. I mean, it's been working, and that's our first loss. So I think it's a little too early to panic to see if we can grab game 4 here, as Wissan is off to a rough start. Yandy Diaz, the former Giant, with a sac fly to give Cleveland an early lead. As we answer back here with bases loaded, nobody out. Matt Chapman walks in a run. Luciano walks in a run, uncharacteristically coming apart for Shane Bieber here. Matos, sac fly, and a strikeout. Okay, we score 3. Back with the lead. There's some pitches out of it. Okay. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. In the top half of the third. Tyler Freeman's been heating up with a couple of home runs these past couple of games. Don't love seeing that, as our offense is not struggling, but not doing great. As Wissan's pitching okay, and there it is. Daniel Schuleman goes yard. 3-run shot. Walks will kill you, man. Walks will kill you. Do we leave him in to face Freeman? We'll try it. Okay. Cleveland grabs the lead again. Yeah, we're going to sub him out. Let's go to Kyle Harrison. He's been pitching well. See if he can keep us in this ball game. As Eloy goes yard. He hasn't hit a homer in a while, so that's nice to see. 2 outs. Ground out. All right. Come on. Need to hold Cleveland here. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Nice work, Kyle Harrison. All right, I'm assuming they're going to make a move to the bullpen here. They do. Jose Leclerc, the former Ranger, steps into the 7th and does his thing. Kyle Harrison keeps another 0 on the board. So we're seeing their full bullpen displayed here. Okay, first and second, nobody out. The man we want at the plate with another knock, bases loaded. Sack fly, strike. All right. Try it again. Another strikeout. Oh, that kills us. Bases loaded, nobody out. We go strikeout, strikeout, ground out. Oh, that hurts. That is painful to watch as a GM. Watching the offense do that. Patrick Bailey, we'll see. Nothing. All right, may as well try Langford again here. Against Cade Smith, ground out. All right, so Cleveland has crawled their way back into this series. It is a 2-2 series tie. The good news is that we have top of our rotation back. They used Bieber in the last game. So Corbin Burnes will get the start here in a pivotal Game 5 in Cleveland. Let's see if we can crawl our way back into the series, just seeing if there's any lineup changes per se. We could get Langford in there. Lewis has been struggling. So has Chapman. We are facing a lefty. We've lost 2 in a row. Let's try. I hate taking out Chapman, but let's try and bring in Wyatt Langford there to that lineup and see if we can't get any more production out of the back half there. Pulled his back. What are you doing, Patrick Bailey? Skip that. Okay. So, key Game 5 here. Logan Allen, who's been dominant for Cleveland, getting the rock in game number 5. Corbin Burnes for us. Leadoff double. The top half of the lineup has come alive for Cleveland for sure. Eloy gets thrown out at the plate. Would have gave us an early lead. 2 walks. Hate to see that. Another walk in the inning. Strikeout. Come on, Corbin. Strikeout. All right. Wyatt Langford flies out. Hoping to just get a little bit more offense out of this team as we have a couple guys struggling here. Corbin Burns doesn't have his A game, but he's making it do. Logan Allen continuing to pitch well for Cleveland, and I got to go to a lefty here. He's struggling. This is a key point in the game as Kyle Manzardo hits a 3-run shot left on left. That hurts to see. As we go 1, 2, 3. Ugh. Mitch Bratt, get in there. An error to start off the inning. We're down 3. Come on, Mountcastle. Do your thing. Patrick Bailey. Come on, my guy. Pop up. Oh, man. Up 2-0 in the series to drop the last 2. See if we can't try and keep this a tie game here. Cade Smith once again. Yep. All right. So that sets the table. Home team has won every game so far in this series, and we are going to elect to use our play-in game to try and win this one manually. We have Logan Webb back on the bump here, but we are going to jump in, get some gameplay, and try and win this one. The lineup changes didn't work. We're just going to roll out this team that we've had all year long. There's nothing really else to make a change on. We could shake around that top half of the lineup a little. Evan Lux has been struggling, but against a righty, I like him a little bit better there. And we can drop Chapman down a little in the lineup since he's been struggling. So we'll get this started. So here we are, game number 6, a must-win for your San Francisco Giants. We have our guy on the mound in Logan Webb. We are going to be jumping into this one, grabbing some gameplay, and seeing if we can come away with a win of our own. And your first out in game 1, fly out to center. And just like that, the Cleveland Guardians have jumped out to a 1-0 lead. A hanging slider by Logan Webb gets popped by Caden Wallace for an early lead for Cleveland. A 1-out knock by Stephen Kwan, the second hit of the game for the Giants, trying to get things going. Eloy puts a jolt into this one. Oh, no, it's a ground rule double. That would have been a tie game. Let's see if Mountcastle can come through. Frick. Eloy drives one. Deep right field. Does it have the legs? No. Caught on the warning track. Mountcastle puts a jolt in the one. Does that one have enough? It does. Mountcastle ties the game in the bottom of the 7th on a hanging changeup by Quantrill. And we have a brand new ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Guardians bringing in Jose Leclerc here to start the bottom half of the 8th. Your Giants needing one more run to set it up for Duvall in the 9th. And that'll close the book on Logan Webb. 8 innings, 12 Ks, passing it off to Ferguson for this lefty lane in the top half of the 9th. And we are going to the bottom of the 9th in a tie ball game for a chance to walk it off. Bottom of the 10th, Robert Link coming in for Cleveland to try and keep it a tie ball game. Big inning right here as they'll have the heart of their lineup or top of their lineup coming up in the 11th. All right, we didn't score going to the 11th. We're giving the ball to Duvall. It's our best arm left. Got to try and keep it a tie game. And Duvall pitches out of it in the 11th. We are headed to the bottom half with another chance to walk it off. Matos with a 1-out single up the middle. Winning run is on first. Unbelievable play right there. I thought for sure that ball was getting down. Unreal. We are headed to another half. Duvall make quick work. Can we walk it off here in the bottom of the 12th? Eloy puts one in the gap. Does he have the speed to make it to second base? He does. And we are going to make the change. I know he's one of our best hitters, but we have to get some speed out there on the bases in case we are able to score him. Langford and Elliot Ramos, there isn't much of a difference. And at this stage, we'll go with the better defender out there. So here we go. Mountcastle with the game-tying homer. Can he walk it off? Hittable curveball late on it. Drives one. Right center field. Is it deep enough? It is. And the Giants are going to walk it off here in Game 6, the Ryan Mountcastle game. A game-tying homer in the 7th. A walk-off double in the bottom of the 12th. And your Giants are staying alive here in the postseason. Game 7 is next. And this is just in case the capture didn't get it quite. Fastball up and away. Almost a perfect. And smashed it into the corner. Probably a homer in a lot of parks. One hop the fence. And that was all she wrote for game number 6. All right, 2 of the best words in sports. Game 7 between Cleveland and San Francisco. We have home field advantage. It's what we played for all year long, is for a chance at this title to get us back into the glory days. Now, who do we go to Game 7? We brought George Kirby in for big games like this. That's why we paid him. Corbin Burns has been dominant. Kyle Harrison has been fantastic for us. But I think it has to go to Corbin Burns on short rest. He's our guy. We want him pitching in games like this, at least to get the start. He's earned it. It's his moment. All right. 2 of the best words in all of sports. Game 7 between Cleveland and San Francisco. We have home field advantage coming off of a huge walk-off win in the bottom of the 12th by Ryan Mountcastle. George Kirby, this is what we brought you in for. This is what we're paying you for. This is why we went out and got the extra starter, is to have him for a game like this, moving Patrick Bailey up. He's been playing well. This is the team. This is what got us here. This is what we're rolling with into game number 7. Let's go. And it looks like Cleveland's made a lineup change themselves. Misael Urbina. Sorry for butchering your name. But getting the start here in game 7 as George Kirby gets through the first inning unscathed. A 2-out double by Stephen Kwan, strikeout. So Cleveland gets through the first inning unscathed. Second inning goes the Giants' way, and nothing after 2. Okay. Kirby's second time through the lineup. Leadoff walk for Chapman. This is big here. Into a double play. 2-out double by Gavin Lux. Come on, Stephen Kwan. Come on. Your old team. Game 7. And he hits a 2-run homer to give the Giants a lead here early against his former team in one of the biggest moments of his career. Stephen Kwan goes yard as Francisco Alvarez hits a 2-out double. Kyle Manzardo, do we pitch around him with the base open? I think it's the smart play. It was a walk. Is Yaniel Fernandez going to make us regret that? No. Kirby strikes him out and forces the Cleveland to put up another 0 there in the 4th. Mountcastle reaches on an error. Nothing brewing there in the bottom half. Okay. Caden Wallace goes yard for the second game in a row for Cleveland. It's now the top half of the lineup for the 3rd time. We need more offense out of this team. Leadoff single for Matt Chapman. Fly out by Matos. Strikeout by Lux. Can Kwan do it again? They walk him to bring up Royce Lewis. Come on, man. Another guy. We brought you in for big moments like this. Been having a tough postseason. It's time to pop your first. And he gets a single. I'll take it. RBI to get that run back. Here's the man we've all been hyped about all postseason. Eloy Jimenez, Mr. 3-run homer. Clutch hit after clutch hit. Can he bust this game open? Flies out. Okay. We still have a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to leave Kirby in to face Urbina, and then I think it's time to make the move to the bullpen for this lefty lane. Caleb Ferguson, this has been your matchup all series long as the hitters are starting to figure something out. 2 singles into a fly out. We'll leave him in there. Strikeout. Huge bullpen inning right there as Cleveland makes the move to go to the bullpen. And the Giants can't put anything together there. Top of the 7th. We're going to Kerchak early here. Leadoff walk. You don't like to see it. Stolen base into a ground out. Okay. Another 0. Come on, offense. Matt Chapman staying hot in that 9 spot. Do we bunt? Do we bunt? Let him swing. Fielder's choice. Okay. Lux into a double play. Okay. Leave Kerchak for one more batter. Lefty lane again. We're going Bummer or Harrison. Bummer or Harrison. Bummer or Harrison. Let's go to Bummer. Leadoff walk. Into a single. Fielder's choice. Come on. 2 outs. Just need an out here. Just need an out. Wow, what a play. Okay, so they stole second. Manzardo, don't know how, on Patrick Bailey with 2 outs. Doesn't make any sense to me, the lefty pitcher, but whatever. And Fernandez singled, but Matos threw out Manzardo at the plate. So the Giants still maintain a 1-run lead here. Come on, offense. Get me some insurance here. Heart of the lineup. Ground out, strikeout, fly out. Okay. Got to make the sub. Got to get Elliot Ramos in there. Duvall just pitched all those innings last game, but we got to lean on him for 3 more outs. Bottom of the lineup. Ground out. Strikeout. Let's jump in. So here we are. Top 9, 2 outs. Caden Wallace at the plate for Cleveland. He's already hit a homer in this game. Camilo Doval trying to close it out once again for San Francisco. Get them their first World Series in quite a while. There's a fly ball to right field. Luis Matos under it, and the Giants have done it. They are World Series champions once again here in San Francisco. What a run. What a completion of an arc that the management of Buster Posey and Nicky Kronk had put together, had believed in. Some homegrown talent, some key trade deadline acquisitions and free agent signings over the past few years coming into play and allowing for this moment to arrive. So there it is, San Francisco. Congratulations. The glory days are back. You are champions of the world once again. So we take a quick look back on how we got here with a clean sweep of Pittsburgh in the DS, a clean sweep of the Cubs in the CS, and it carried into the World Series with winning the first 2 games there at home before dropping all of the next 3 at Cleveland and having a walk-off winner by Mountcastle in Game 6 and a winner in Game 7, 3-2 your final for your Giants to get back their World Series trophy. Dominant starting pitching, timely hitting, carried us all the way there. That's what we were built upon. That's what got us here. As Luis Matos grabs his World Series MVP and Eloy Jimenez, your playoff MVP. The trade deadline acquisition that may have never happened if Wyatt Langford hadn't broken his shin, I believe, back right before the deadline, forced us to go grab Eloy. We made the right decision. It all worked out in the end, and we have him back for, I believe, 3 more years after this one. Yes. So the offense will continue to dominate for years to come here in San Francisco. Take a quick look at some of these other awards that kind of are meaningless this year with bringing home the big one, but we'll see where our team, if anybody, stacks up against the rest of the league, as Eloy claimed the DH award away from Shohei. Actually was playing with Milwaukee for most of the year, so Royce Lewis gets in there as well. Luis Matos nominated for a Gold Glove, didn't quite win it, but that's cool to see. Same with Chapman there at third. He's a free agent. We have a lot of free agents on this team. Going to be a massive offseason after winning the World Series to see what we can put together. It's Pittsburgh with a couple of young, promising rookies on their way. Camilo Doval in the conversation for reliever of the year. Chase Burns got the Cy Young over there in Cincinnati, a team we felt like destined to face off against in the playoffs, but got the Cubs instead and went on to win the World Series. So take a quick look at some of these stats over the postseason. Who did what for us? So Luis Matos got your World Series MVP. He had a great run of things. Gavin Lux, set to hit free agency, has been such a key player here for us over the past few years. Did not perform in the postseason. So I think that's a one we could make sense storyline-wise to part ways with. Royce Lewis certainly didn't perform in the postseason the way we expected him to. But he is a big part of this team moving forward. Steven Kwan did his thing with the biggest home run of his career against his former team. Patrick Bailey really came out of his shell this year offensively, which was huge. Some of the most clutch hitting came from this man and Ryan Mountcastle and Eloy Jimenez. What more can we say about him and his performance? 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, 1.1 plus OPS. I mean, the dude was incredible for us all postseason, a huge reason why we got to the World Series and were able to win it. What a what a deal at the deadline, worth everything to get him now. Luciano and Chapman with their contributions as well. And no one else really got into the game offensively. Pitching wise, this is what also carried us here. Logan Webb and Corbin Burnes. Almost 30 innings for Logan Webb. 2 wins. Should have had the third there in the World Series, but not enough offense. 39 strikeouts, 1.5 ERA. I mean, pulling a Madison Bumgarner of all things, bringing that back. And Corbin Burnes, his equal, not as dominant statistically, but dominant when we needed it, keeping the runs off the board and limiting damage. George Kirby, with the start of his career in Game 7, ended up finishing out with some pretty solid numbers and a huge reason we got the World Series win as well. Wissenine had a good start and a not good start, so kind of his numbers fall in range there. Kyle Harrison coming out of the bullpen, especially the game where Logan Webb went down with that injury. I mean, he might have gotten the playoff MVP, in my opinion, if he would have pitched through that whole game and gotten his numbers up there. Kyle Harrison came into that game and several others to do well for us. Camilo Doval, 9 innings, zero runs given up, 1 walk, 12 Ks, 5 saves. Incredible work there. Caleb Ferguson, the lefty lanes. Kerchek as well. Didn't give up a single run. Mitch Bratt, a late acquisition to the playoff roster, all thanks to Pittsburgh's lefty lanes, and he pitched well. Bummer did okay enough. Stashik definitely struggled, was put into the doghouse, and then Eldridge got in there for 1 game. So congratulations once again, San Francisco. Let's tee it up for the offseason as our manager has left our team after winning the World Series. That's pretty funny. Let's see who's available out there. A couple of decent managers here. Was Caleb Nelson our guy? He wasn't. Is it Dave Sanders? Nope. Trying to find the guy we had. Jack Ryan. BJ Higgins. I kind of forget. Holden. I think it was Holden right here is who we had as our manager. So we can give him an offer, see if he wants to come back. I mean, he helped manage this team to a World Series. If you want to come back at 15 mil, we'll give you that. But I also really like David Sanders here, a little bit better of an upgrade for us. Give him an offer as well as Caleb Nelson. I think both these guys are capable of managing our team. So we'll go up to 20 mil for him as well here. So we try to find our manager replacement there. Exclusive free agent negotiations. Lengthy list. I actually don't even know if we'll get to the free agency markets. Let's take a look at what people want. First, let's take a look at our budget. Okay, so we got 100 mil. Plenty of money to spend out there. And Camilo Doval isn't even asking for that much. Kind of right in line of what he was making. And after the year he just had in postseason, be more than happy to give him a solid 3-year deal to come back. Gavin Lux is a big, interesting piece here. I think we're okay to let him walk because he wants close to 15 mil. Luciano is kind of in the same boat. Just thinking we have Brooks Lee there who can play either position. So we'll see what we want to do there. Ryan Mountcastle would be an interesting guy to bring back. He's been very consistent. Not asking for too much, but we could also go get somebody else. Matt Chapman, unfortunately, I think your time here in San Francisco is at an end at 35 years old. That's why we grabbed Royce Lewis last offseason. So for that, I'd love to bring back Kerchek on a 2-year deal. I'd give him 7 mil. He's been a dominant setup guy and was great in the postseason as well. So we try to hold on to that bullpen. Elliot Ramos, you deserve the chance to go play somewhere else. Be an everyday outfielder. Been a great contributor off the bench. And we can let Bummer walk. And Stashik, you were good in the regular season. Are you worth bringing back for the postseason? We can always go find additional relievers, and we have some in the system. Might want to give a chance to. So I think that'll conclude that. Let's just simulate a couple of days, make sure we're not missing out on anything. Sanders accepted the Dodgers offer. Cool. Caleb Nelson becomes our manager. Awesome. Nobody we really want to give qualifying offers to. And looks like Duvall accepted his extension, which is nice for us. That shores up our closer. I don't know if there's anyone out here we really want to just give an offer to just to have an offer on. Besides Kerchak, I mean, we can sign any of these guys if we really want to bring them back. But we're going to see what's out here in free agency, right? These guys earn the right to negotiate a contract as a big trade goes down between the White Sox and the Guardians. So they trade away Gabby Moreno. Makes sense. They have Francisco Alvarez. Pick up C.J. Abrams and Matt Wallner. So if they're losing out in the World Series, they're active already, is Cleveland. So this will tee up the start of the next episode. Just give a quick look at what's available here in free agency. And see where we might be able to add to our team. So lots of key starting pitchers, a lot of young guys finally hitting free agency. Jack Caligione, two-way player here from the Royals. 26 years old. Paul Skeens is available. Gray Rod's available. Yuri Perez available. Drew Thorpe. Lots of big names starting pitching there, as well as bullpen pieces. We can continue to add there. Definitely would think another dominant lefty, Brock Burke. Here's Brian Hudson, a lefty he is. Another lefty would certainly help round out our bullpen there. I think we could go get one of those guys. Catching, we're still fine. First base, so it looks like it's Matt Olson's the top guy on here. Would certainly be an upgrade for us offensively. Big power lefty bat, which we could use another lefty, or we could just go out here and grab Mountcastle again. Josh Naylor's back on the free agency market. Another lefty guy. Kirilloff, okay. Kind of very similar to Michael Busch. Or we just go with Michael Busch as our first baseman next year. Who knows? We have some money to go and spend, so we may as well try and add pieces to this team, I think. To try and repeat. That's the key now, is to go out there and repeat the success that we've had. A lot of decent infield options in here as well. Brett Beatty, we don't really need anybody at third. Just taking a quick peek at what's out here available. Shortstop, if we wanted to ride Brooks Lee or play Brooks Lee either at second or third, probably second because Royce Lewis is going to play third, or could just interchange them. But it does leave the option to go out here and get a star-studded shortstop like Mason Wynn, like Ellie De La Cruz, right? A rock-solid defender with some elite speed, good arm talent. Marcelo Meyer is available as well. He's only 26, just entering his prime. Would be an interesting one. Or we just go after and bring back Marco Luciano, who's kind of been, what you expect, a plus defender. He's been contributing decently offensively. So shortstop's definitely a question mark for us, and I believe outfield we're pretty much set. There really isn't much to go after out here, although there are some big names like Jackson Merrill and PCA available for us. So just give a quick look at the roster so you guys can comment down below what we should go after and what we have for next year. Starting pitching, I think we're fine. We're pretty stacked. If anything, we could trade a guy here between Harrison, Fletcher, Burns, Wisson, Eldridge, Webb, Kirby. We have plenty of starting pitching. Bullpen-wise, going to look similar. We could definitely add a piece or two there. But I think it'd be fine if we have the likes of Ferguson or Brad or Merced and pick up another lefty or righty, bring back Kerchak. Marshall Jones might get the chance. Duvall is back as our closer, so that helps solidify things. We have Patrick Bailey still as our catcher. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to try and package either Porter or Sable to some team and go out and get another prospect to bring back onto this team. First base, we have Michael Busch, but he is kind of just a righty specialist hitter, can play multiple positions, which is helpful for us, but I don't think he's ready for an everyday first baseman position, especially with the talent we have on this roster and trying to repeat. Richard Jew is making his way. He certainly could be a bench bat for us at the major league level next year. Von Burke, I think, is a year or two away from contributing at the major league level, so he probably won't make the team. We have Royce Lewis here who can play anywhere in the infield as well. If we wanted to slide him over to second, we can, as that's a little bit less demanding on the arm, but you like that middle of the infield versatility that we've had with Lux and Luciano. Casey Schmidt, we still have in the system as a defensive infielder if we want to use him in the role that Brooks Lee had. I definitely want to play Brooks Lee. It's his time to get an everyday role on this team, switch hitter. It's what we traded him for. Find out what he's got these next 2 years before he becomes a free agent. So he'll either be at shortstop or second base or third base, one of those positions. It helps. We're so versatile there. And this is why I said outfield's kind of locked up. Eloy's going to be the DH. Langford will slide back to left field. Quan will be in right. And Matos will be Quan will be in center and Matos will be in right. Vaughn Brown grew nicely on the bench. He can continue to be that bench bat for us. Take over Elliot Ramos' spot. We also have Grant McCray here, who can fill in there. Christian Vaquero is slowly coming along there, could be a bench outfielder. So outfield, we're pretty much set. It's really that decision between the infield of what we want to do with Brooks Lee, Royce Lewis, and whoever else we want to get for that third infield spot, as well as first base and some of the bullpen pieces there. So it's going to be a busy offseason. We have a lot to take care of, but enjoy the champagne, San Francisco. This is your time to celebrate the hard work that we've put in, the journey that we've been on, and once again can call yourselves World Series champions.